Chapter 7, a new chapter. Beatrice was putting the sadness of Norman's death behind her. She was writing and painting again. She published 10 books in the first 9 years after moving to Hilltop Farm. And the farm and the surrounding landscapes found their way into Beatrice's books. She even managed to include some of Near-Sari's residents in her stories, disguised as animals, of course. Not only was Beatrice creating more books, her books were also finding more readers. They were being sold in more bookstores. They were also on the shelves of many libraries. And readers in other countries were also reading about Peter, Benjamin, Jeremy, and Jemima. Beatrice's books were translated into French, German, and Spanish. The books were also sold in the United States. Beatrice was happy that children all over the world were enjoying her stories. On the farm, Beatrice wanted more specific space for her herd with sheep, dairy cows, and beef cattle. In the summer of 1909, Beatrice learned that another farm was for sale. It was right next to Hilltop Farm. This was the perfect solution. Beatrice contacted William Hillis, a local lawyer, to help her buy the farm. William was a tall, quiet man who had lived his whole life in the Lake District. He loved the area as much as Beatrice. He also liked farming and raising animals. The new farm needed work. William helped Beatrice make improvements and put in a water pipe for the property. They began spending more and more time together. The new farm took much of Beatrice's time and energy, but she continued to write. In October 1909, she published The Tale of the Flopsy Bunnies. It continued the story of Peter Rabbit and his cousin Benjamin Bunny. The Tale of Mrs. Tittlemouse was published in 1910. The Tale of Timmy Tiptoes followed in 1911, and The Tale of Mr. Todd in 1912. Writing and farming were what made Beatrice happy. Unfortunately, all the hard work was making her ill. She came down with a high fever and felt dizzy. She had to stay in bed. Her parents were worried about her. They insisted she come to London to rest and get better. Beatrice did not want to leave Near-Sari, but she agreed. She was too weak to argue with them. It was difficult for Beatrice to be away from her home in the Lake District. She knew that John Cannon would look after the animals, the orchards, and the garden, but she missed the fresh air, the open spaces, and the peace and quiet. And she missed William. By this time, Beatrice and William had fallen in love. So Beatrice waited for the mail to be delivered every day. She looked forward to receiving letters from William and news from the countryside. Toward the end of 1912, Beatrice was finally well enough to return home. Soon after, William Hillis proposed to Beatrice. She happily accepted his proposal. On October 15, 1913, Beatrice and William were married. Their wedding photo tells a lot about the couple. They were both dressed very simply. They are looking straight at the cameras. Their expressions are quiet and strong. It is clear that they care for each other very much and are very determined to make a life together. Beatrice was 47 years old and had waited a long time for this happy moment. In the same month that Beatrice and William were married, Frederick Warne & Co. published The Tale of Pickling Bland. It is the only book that Beatrice wrote that included a bit of a love story. It tells the story of Pickling Bland and his adventures in the world. His life changes when he meets Pigwig, the perfectly lovely little black Berkshire pig.